Today is 20 gauge day, and we're going to be doing the Browning Auto 5. And if you'll notice on the top, we have all lead shot, and on the bottom we have tungsten and tungsten blend shot. So the Browning Belgian barrels, you can't use anything but lead in them. But I actually was able to secure a Japanese Moroku Browning 20 gauge Magnum barrel, which are just virtually impossible to find. And I'm going to be putting a Trulock choke on this. So these are safe for the tungsten loads. So I'm really excited to give this thing a real thorough workout, and we're going to see which shot shoots best for mid to long range shots with the 20 gauge Magnum. This is a 1967 fully restored Auto 5 Browning Mag 20 that I got from Art's Gun Shop. And these guys are the Auto 5 kings of the country. And of course, most of you are going to figure out that I'm pretty much an Auto 5 freak. So I'm really excited to get this gun rolling because it's going to get my mom out into the turkey woods this year. Whether she shoots one or not is going to be up to her, but we're going to have a gun for her that's ready and able for her to shoot. What was real cool to me is I was able to secure a Japanese Moroku barrel. The Moroku barrels will allow you to shoot tungsten shot through them. So I've got my Trulock choke that I'm going to be putting on this Moroku barrel, which will allow me to use a full turkey choke with a variety of different loads, including tungsten. I'm really excited about this Mag 20 because it's very light, and with the use of the more popular tungsten, your Mag 20 is going to be taking you out to where your 12 gauge with just regular lead goes. So make sure that you check, by the way, in your state what shot size is legal for you. In Indiana, we have to use 7.5 and above, and some other states let you have 9 shot. The tungsten 9 shot is really what gives you that extra range, but you got to make sure that your state regulations are compliant with what you're actually shooting. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is pull off the Belgian barrel. Always use a snap cap, but we want to get that Belgian barrel taken off first. So that's what we're going to do. And you know, a lot of times people have a tendency to overscrew the whatever those things are called too tight. And then the other thing that's important with these old Brownings is to make sure that your friction rings are installed correctly. And if you have any questions with that, just go to Art's Gun Shop on YouTube, and you'll be able to see tons and tons of videos on the Browning Auto 5. Again, Art's Gun Shop is the place to go if you're an Auto 5 freak like me. So, all right, well, we've got this barrel off, and we're going to go ahead and get started on getting this new barrel taken out and cleaned up. It's amazing. This still has the original plastic and the original paper on it. I gotta admit, I really love shooting a 50-year-old gun, kind of combining old, new, everything you possibly can to maximize ethical kills on turkeys. And you can really feel this like sticky old oil. So, but of course, like everything, I'm going to save every little bit and piece of this, and we'll just put it all together. It says Browning Arms Company, Morgan, Utah, Montreal, made in Japan. So there should be a full choke installed in the front of this barrel, and then it comes with the good old Moroku choke. 10, 20, 12, and 16 choke bar, or choke bar. 10, 20, 12, and 16 choke tightener with the old Browning buck mark on it. That is really cool. That's a vintage piece right there, and it's brand new. And then of course we have the original chokes, Invectors. I'm really excited that I found this, because the reality is that these particular barrels for the 3-inch Magnum, and it'll say that on this side of the barrel, which it does, Invector Special Steel 20 gauge shells, 3-inch 26 barrel Browning patents, etc. But it's important, the regular 20 gauge smaller shells, just the regular size shells, are relatively easy to find, but these particular barrels are almost impossible to find. I was talking to Brad over at Arts, and he said you probably get to find one of these a year, maybe 2 tops. So I was very fortunate to be able to come across this one. So, wow, it's still got this on it. That's pretty wild. This thing's never been used. So, all right, well, let's get this full choke out first. That's most important. Then we can start cleaning this barrel up. It's pretty gummy. But we've got the stuff. We've got the clean bore gunk out that we're going to use on this, and get everything all cleaned up. Yeah, you can smell that old oil. Pretty amazing. Just to make sure everything works well with the new choke before I get everything really installed. That's the Trulock, and it does have an extension on it. So that's the extended turkey choke that the Trulock takes. And you can actually see right there where it says TKY Turkey. I almost hate to take this sticker off, but I'm going to have to in order to shoot it, so that's what I bought it for. All right, let's get this thing cleaned up. Put that back for right now. This is going to go back in the box, where it's going to go back in the safe, so that way it keeps its value. As we all know, most of us crazy gun guys, we want to maintain as much of the true value that we possibly can, and that's what we're going to do. The other interesting thing about the old Browning Auto 5s is that back in the day, if you wanted to change chokes, you changed barrels. So again, having a barrel with an Invector choke on it allows us to do a different myriad of things with our guns. I specifically bought this gun to be a turkey gun, so I can take a 20 gauge out. One thing that I love about Zach is he always takes his 20 out. It's a much lighter gun. It's a lot of fun to shoot, and it's just a different thing. I mean, I've got my Beretta, I've got my Benelli, I've got my Browning Auto 5 16 gauge. I like to have a variety of different things to try when turkey hunting, and that's why I do what I do. Plus, I'm kind of weird. Warning, your gun barrel has been threaded to accept an interchangeable choke system. Never fire the gun without having a Browning Invector system choke system installed. That's pretty cool. So right now we're just going to get the old gunk out, spray a little bit on here, and just get the outside of the barrel done. Get all that cut off of the side here and the adhesive, which that's just boom done. Everything's moving good, and then we'll just give it a light coat of rem oil at the very end. Gotta love these old bore snakes. Things are a lot different than when I was a kid and I had my first Auto 5 to shoot. It was my dad's best friend. He was a World War II veteran, and I just loved the ground this man walked on. And he was one of these fellas that hunted everything with one gun. And he had a Browning Auto 5 Sweet 16. And that was the first shotgun that I ever shot. And you can see the link to the video here that will take you to that particular gun. Not that particular his, but one like it. That's what got me started on Auto 5s, and I've just never looked back. Now this is particularly slick with that old Japanese oil, or wherever it came from, but this gunk stuff is just amazing. Not a bit of rust, so I mean, you can kind of see nothing on this. I mean, wherever this thing was stored, it was stored well for a long time. Getting a little easier. Oh yeah, gosh. It's like a mirror in there. A couple more little places to put the gunk out. Woo! Stuff smells awesome. So, for a guy like me, that's not good news. Those of you who know me well, the good news is inhalants aren't my thing and never were and never will be. Nice. All right, let's give this one more pull through with the gunk out, gunk off. Everything's starting to feel good and smooth. We'll get that up, kinda. Come on. Oh, that's why. It's caught. Okay. Now I'm going to put just a touch of oil on it. At the back. And then that'll just oil up the barrel real good. There we go. Give it another pull through. Much better. And one thing that I do is put this lubricant. It's like a choke tube lube, just a universal, like looks like some sort of a graphite lubricant. And I like to put that on the choke itself, so that way, if I ever have to take it off, I can, and it's easier. So if you look here, it says Trulock Win 20 gauge Turkey Federal Heavyweight 7. And these were actually designed for the third degree shells. Go ahead and put some of that on. Oof, man, my hands are shaking. I had way too much coffee this morning. So I always like to just kind of smear a little bit on, and then I'll just smear it around with my hands. That's pretty much all you need on it. Doesn't really need a whole lot. Screw that into the barrel of the gun. And that is done. That's ready to roll. I like these hand tightened chokes because you can always kind of check them. They also, the thing that I like about the Trulock chokes is they've always got a place on in there. If I really want to get the choke tool on that and really get it tight, I can. I have this weird little habit when I'm out hunting, I'll just kind of check them all the time, so I'm not horribly worried about that. The time when it's really important is when I'm out there shooting it and shooting it and shooting it and patterning these. So, okay, we've got this barrel just about ready to go. All we got to do is put it on the gun, put a little light coat of oil just right here on the action, and that's it. Done. Probably just get a just kind of wipe that in there real bit, especially in the moving parts. Now it's got some oil from 30 years later, or however long it's been since it's seen the light of day. All right, let's get this gun put back together, and then we'll stick the Truglo sight on it and get things ready to go. Just want to make sure that the wood is tight against the receiver. Once the wood's tight against the receiver, you can let that barrel go back. Then we'll cycle it. We'll go ahead and do a speed load with it, and it's ready to go. Give it a shot. Pull that speed round down. Drop that speed round in. This is really cool. This is what I love about the old Auto 5s is the speed loading feature. You just push it up and wham, action closes. All right, we're ready for a sight. Love this thing. The Auto 5 is ready. Mag 20, we've got 3-inch shells for it. We've got lead loads, we've got tungsten loads, and we've got lots of turkey targets. I'm gonna get this Truglo Magnum series Gobble Dot put on top, and then we'll use the cheaper shells just to kind of get things in place. And then once we have them in place, we'll start patterning at 30, 40, 50, and maybe even 60 yards.